Let me ask you a question. If Jacob deGrom's career is going to be over one way or another in the next couple of years or a year from now, is he a Hall of Famer? Obviously, he's not. He's not going to win 300 wins, and I don't think that's the protocol anymore. It's really about the dominance of time that he was a top, starting pitcher in baseball. I mean, could you tell me the last pitcher that had the numbers that Jacob deGrom has had in the last 5 years? Not many. I mean, I can't even tell you. So do you think Jacob deGrom's a Hall of Famer?
If it's up to me, no, but I have high standards for this kind of stuff. I think they let too many people into the Hall of Fame. I mean, the guy's managed not even 200 games started, so you typically want 300. Well, you don't want 300 wins anymore. That's ridiculous, obviously. Mm-hmm. But you want like 200 wins, and he hasn't even made that many starts, and he might not after this year, So to me, it's just the raw innings pitched isn't there. He's under 1,300 career innings. But will he? Probably. I mean, just because he's such a name, and New York certainly helps, and all these things are very, it's not all data that these Hall of Fame ballot voters are looking at.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that. You said they let too many people in. You think? I always thought baseball writers were the most stingy. They won't let the right people in, and they obviously the steroid thing has a lot to do with it. But even some of the other older guys that could have gotten in. Why do you think that is? Why do you think they are too lenient?
Yeah, you're right. You're right that they will hold these grudges. I don't know if it's a grudge, but yeah, I mean Barry Bonds should be in the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
Give me a break.
Right.
Of course. So in that regard, they are certainly way too stingy. And it's just like, what are you trying to prove here, man? Like, you want to just decline everybody from this era, anybody that ever did something unsavory. And I understand, like, it's not like I don't understand the argument on the other side that you don't want these people that didn't do the honor of your game and the integrity of the game well. But Barry Bonds, I mean, if you get rid of all that stuff, he's the greatest, right up there, top 3 greatest players of all time.
No question.
In the Hall of Fame. So, but I don't know. Just my ideal world is that it takes a crazy good career with tons of innings pitched and tons of at-bats and tons of games played to be in the Hall of Fame. But I don't pay super close attention to the Hall of Fame stuff. I'm more of a here and now guy. But
baseball,
keep Bonds in the Hall of Fame and keep deGrom out.
Yeah, baseball Hall of Fame is a bunch of crap anyways. I mean, David Ortiz was the first ballot Hall of Fame, and he was absolutely enjoying enhancing drugs.
Derek Jeter was unanimous, right?
Yes. Oh, no, that was Mariano Rivera.
One vote short.
Oh,
okay. One unanimous.
But Jeter, that's a joke. He wasn't that good of a baseball player. I'm sorry. Does that rustle your jimmies here?
No, he actually is more critical of Derek Jeter than most Yankee fans.
I'm not a Derek Jeter fan. I've interviewed him 3 times. He's as nice as I could be. As nice as I could be on this radio show, he was a prick. Okay, so Alex Rodriguez was much more nice and more interesting to talk to when it comes to interviewing about baseball and sports. The guy actually will have a conversation with you and not feel like you're an idiot and an imbecile that doesn't know the game. Okay, Derek Jeter, on the other hand, he looked at me like I had 6 heads. And who are you? Where are you from? Oh, okay. I don't need to talk to you. That's the type of person that he is, unfortunately. And even if his best friend Gerald Williams, who I know pretty well and have had good conversations with, it's amazing how Derek Jeter and Gerald Williams are great friends because Gerald is so much more outgoing than Derek is. So I don't know how they're friends. So
maybe he's got him on a bad day. Sorry.
No, 3 times.
I turned over a stone there.
3 strikes, I'm out, man. Okay.
I mean, he's a Hall of Famer, but the votes he got, it wasn't unanimous, but very close. Like, he wasn't that good. So I'm not one to rail against old people shouldn't do anything. They're too old, because I think there's plenty of merit to old experienced people having a say in things. But for the Hall of Fame, they're not really with the times, and they don't always look at the data in the most fair way, in my opinion.
Before I get to my question, I'll just read some of the comments. Jeff says Josh Donaldson or Trevor Story. Carl says buy Story, censor Donaldson. And
could you stop with this Donaldson Trevor stories? They both suck. Okay, they both stink.
The answer is Trevor Story, though. To the fantasy question.
There you go, Jeff. You got your answer. And Carl says Derek Jeter had a clutch rating of A+. So my question is, either positive or negative so far to start the season. What has been the biggest player surprise and team surprise so far this year?
Yeah, let's see. The one thing with fantasy is you don't really look at the standings very often because you're just more worried about the players and who's doing
No,
well.
you could do a player too, like any fantasy player surprise, like and disappointment.
Yeah, I mean, Taylor Ward, we talked about, he would have to be the surprise, just from nowhere, totally undrafted in fantasy leagues, to be the number one player for a while there. Disappointment. Yeah, I mean, Jose Barrios is in that conversation, another AL East guy, just been very bad. A little bit better lately, but still no strikeouts. Really struggling. And another thing is, it wasn't disappointing to me because you kind of expect it, but a lot of these rookies, like Jared Kelenic maybe, in Seattle, former top prospect, really struggled last year, but then came back up and really was good in September. And a lot of people thought, okay, he had his struggles, he got over them, and now he's ready to go. But he's back in the minors, so it's very tough for these young hitters to come up and play. So, and there's been a bunch of names like that you could rattle off, the Kelenic type, that rookies highly touted that have struggled quite a bit.
With both Mitch Haniger and Kyle Lewis hurt too, you would think he's got to get his chance finally.
Julio Rodriguez is on the other side of that. He's a rookie that has played very well. Tough couple of weeks to start the season, but he's put it together and he's here to stay and he looks very good. So there's players on both sides of that, but typically the rookies have been struggling a lot lately to come up.
Yeah, Taylor Ward's kept Joe Adell in the minor leagues, which I drafted Adell in my category league, so that's not helping.
Yeah.
You know what I would like to use? I would like to use that trampoline to beat the hell out of Jeff on that. Seriously, slam his head over and over and over again with this Trevor Story crap. Trevor Story is not great. I'm tired of hearing it. I don't care how out of a hitter he is the last past week. He stinks. I'm tired of it. 176 million's a crud. Okay, he's batting .230. He's not having a good season.
Man. He's been in your division for 6 minutes.
I can't stand him, man, and I can't stand these Boston Red Sox fans. He goes to Boston and he's like the God's gift to the world. I mean, seriously, Trevor Story. Let's talk about Aaron Judge. Let's talk about 17 home runs, and he leads the league in almost every single category. Let's talk about that. How's that?
Well, you'd be probably pretty excited about Trevor Story if he signed with the Yankees.
Oh, no, I wouldn't. I didn't want Trevor Stories. I don't like Trevor Stories. Thank God he's not a Yankee, okay?
So you didn't like him before this either?
Never liked him. Never liked him on Colorado. Go look at his numbers when he played away from Colorado.
Tons of strikeouts.
He's not good, okay? So anybody that thinks he's such a great player, well, obviously they've been eating some kind of porcupine or whatever the hell they're eating. Keep eating it because you're an idiot, okay?
I think you're gonna be proven wrong on this one, my man.
Oh, yeah?
I think Trevor Story is gonna cause you some pain the rest of the year.
I don't. So I don't. So he's having one good week, and everybody wants to jump.
The course thing is interesting because that is a common criticism that these Rockies players are terrible on the road. So you think once they leave the Rockies, they'll just be terrible. But what seems to happen is that the elevation changes really screws with these guys throughout the year. So even when they're on the road, it's not really a fair shot because their body's gone through all this weird stuff and the adjustment is weird. I mean, you look at the Rockies numbers, like the first couple games out of a homestand, they're just awful. And these hitters are hitting way below what anybody would do. So, and you've seen it with Nolan Arenado. I mean, the batting average is obviously going to come down because Coors elevates that so much, but he's hit homers at the same rate and driven in runs just fine with the Cardinals.
Hold on. Do not compare Trevor Stories to Nolan Arenado. Okay, I mean, we're talking about an elite player at his position.
I'm about two elite players, my man.
Get out of here! You must love Trevor Story or something like that.
I don't, but I think you're giving too much heat here.
I don't like Trevor
Story.
Story.
Up for him in this room.
No, you know who loves you. You got a new fan, and he's probably going to follow you now, and his name's Jeff. So enjoy this, Jeff, because you got a guy that actually agrees with you. Even though you have a guy right now that has 33 hits, 8 home runs, and is batting .224. Good luck on that. Great job, Trevor. Anyways, we really appreciate you joining us, man, on short notice. We definitely would like to get you on again. And also, your expertise in fantasy sports. We have a lot of guys throughout the country that listen to us when it comes to fantasy baseball. And really, I'm sure, really enjoyed your expertise and your conversation with us. Tell the fans how they can find you on social media.
Yeah, I do tons of stuff. Fantasy players, I promise you I have something you'll like. I am a data science guy, as I mentioned, so I have scripts and automation and a bunch of stuff, projections. If you play DFS, I have a lot of that. So check it out. You can find it all on my Twitter, typically John PGH. So it's JONPGH, the shortening for Pittsburgh. So find me there. And again, I promise you'll find something to use with what I put out every day.
I will like everything you put out that isn't related to Trevor Story.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I'm going to remember you, my friend, because we're going to get you on in a couple of months. And if Trevor Story isn't having the year you claim that he is having,
I imagine I won't be back if he is having the year.
I'll bring it. No, I'll bring it back on anyways. I love bringing people back on and going back and forth with them. That's what we do, and that's what makes us very unique and different. And by the way, say hello to your children. How many kids you have?
2 and 1 in the oven. So
wow. How many boys and girls?
1 of each.
We
don't know about this third one.
Oh, look at that, man. Oh, look at you. Are they going to play baseball?
Yeah, that's cheap. That's a cheap sport to get into. My wife and I are both, we'd like to think, athletic. So we both played tennis, but you can't put a kid in tennis. That just bankrupts you.
Not necessarily.
We can play a little wiffle ball for free in the backyard and see if they got anything going, and then start off the t-ball. So definitely,
that's true. My nephew, he needs to learn how to swing. I don't have time to teach him, so he's got terrible coaches too. But I don't want to throw them. He could probably listening to the show right now. Sorry, guys, but. My nephew is he's got 1 hit and 15, 20 at bats. That's not good. So somebody needs to learn and teach him how to actually keep the eye on the ball or something. Because he got smashed in the head with a baseball the other day, too. So he can't catch a ball either. So there you go. Anyways, John, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate you.
All right. Cheers, boys.
Keep drinking, man. Keep drinking.
Love the Yingling.
No driving.
It's bedtime. Good night.
John Anderson, ladies and gentlemen, baller, fantasy baseball, second DFS writer. A great guy. Knows his stuff.